Hey guys, Iron Blood back here today. As you can tell, I'm not outdoors, I'm not at the range, I'm actually at the shop today. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be, I'm going to be trying my first attempt at making spinning targets for 22. And I'm going to take you along for the ride. Hope you enjoy it. Alright, so to start off, we're going to be using 1/4 inch thick material for our targets. These have been cut on the plasma cutter, 4 inches across, 2 inches across, 3/4 inches wide. And got to drill some holes in here. Probably going to go a little bigger than 5/16, so 11/32, and hopefully that'll spin around the 1/4 inch round bar relatively easily, and we'll get started. First thing we're going to do is center punch our bars. Now we'll take these over to the drill press and put some holes in them. Alright, we're going to give these a quick deburr. Alright, to start off, we're going to be cutting the frame material. I've decided actually to use 3/8 round bar. That's going to be for the verticals and the lower horizontal. The top bar will still be a 1/4 inch to allow the targets to spin around. That way I don't use up too much of my material on the arms. And we'll get started cutting. Verticals on the frame will be 16 inches long. Next up, we're going to deburr all the material. Then what we're also going to do is we're going to put a point on to the legs. That way when it's going to be easier to drive it into the ground. That should be adequate, I would think. Don't need much more than that. So I think the next thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put the targets and tack them up to the arms, probably even just weld them on right away. And then we can determine the fitment of the 2 cross members, the 2 horizontal bars. All right, we got all 3 welded up. Now we can start fitting the frame together. All right, so our bottom horizontal is just over 5 inches above the bottom of the legs. And then we'll put our 1/4 inch round bar at the top, but we can't put that on until we get the targets in place. So we'll start by tacking the bottom here and over here. All right, so I'm going to fit the 1/4 inch round bar. Oops, got to put the targets in. Don't want to have to do this twice. And I'm going to position this 1/4 inch round bar about 3/4 of an inch down from the top. I'll wind up putting some plates up on top here and here. That way, if you got to hammer it into the ground, it gives a little more surface area to work your hammer. Tack it here. Tack this side. Wind up positioning these relatively even. If you're OCD, get out your tape measure. 10 inches to the middle, there. And just going to put a tack on either side so it can't wander. Looks like I might need to add more than one tack. Something like that. We'll repeat the process on this side. Build that tack up nice and big. That way the targets can't slide across on the round bar. Lock it in with the tack on the other side. Apparently that's not enough. Always check your work. All right, so now I'm going to weld the frame down here, here, and up here so it doesn't fall apart. All right, so it's all tacked up together, all welded up together. But what I think I'm going to do is add some verticals here. You can see we got a bit of a bow in it from welding. It's only 1/4 inch round bar. So I imagine over time that's just going to get worse, especially once the targets start getting hit and spinning around. So we'll go cut some material and put those in. So we're just going to kind of guesstimate where this goes. Don't really need to measure it. It's not that critical. But I'm going to try and get equal space in between 2 targets and the vertical. Tack on the bottom. Try to get a tack on the bottom. Let that pull in a bit to the top. Tack it to the 1/4 inch round bar. Repeat the process over here. All right, all fit in. Now I can put my helmet on and weld her up. So the last thing we got to do is weld these guys on. They'll give us a nice surface if we have to knock this into some harder ground. Got that on either side. There we go. All it needs now is some paint and some bullets. Hopefully it works out. Well, I got my target with me. It's all finished up, painted up, and we're going to give her a whirl. We're going to set it up back here about 15-20 yards. The ground is pretty hard, so hopefully the little spikes I put on the bottom of the post will help drive it in. And we'll be shooting with my 1022. And if you're Canadian, you may or may not be aware of this, but the 1022 is apparently going to be banned. Yeah, it's a piss off. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's every adjective you want to use. That's what it is. There's no point in that, man. Like, this is the Liberal government led by Trudeau trying to get their hands in everything of our lives. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, I'm going to keep using it because I can right now. It's legal. And what I want to say to the government is, F you. This is my gun. I've had it for 30 years. There's no reason why my gun has to be taken from me and banned. I've never pointed at another person. I've never used it against another person. I use it for hunting and target shooting. I've taught my kids and a whole bunch of other people how to use firearms with it. It's a hell of a gun. Anyways, enough of that rant. I got some plinking to do. So that's what it looks like all painted up. Not too shabby, I guess. I just painted some little dots in the middle there. Give me something to aim for. And I'll be using my hand-painted 1022. If I had to guess, due to the fact that these are 1/4-inch plates, fairly heavy, they're probably not going to spin all that well. I do think they will spin, but I don't think they're going to spin like crazy. It just might go over once or twice, depending where you hit it and what you hit it with. Anyways, we'll find out. So some of the ammo I'm going to be running, some old classic stuff. At least I consider it classic. Anyways, American Eagle 40 grain solids and some golden bullets by Remington. And I'll also be running some Federal Punch, CCI Velociter, and CCI Copper 22. Let's see if there's a difference between the different types of ammo and how they cause a spinning target to react. I'm thinking maybe the higher velocity, heavier bullet, like in the Velociter, will allow it to spin a lot more freely with more oomph. Let's go test her out. All right, so first up, we're going to be running the American Eagle, and we've got 5 rounds of that. And in the same mag, we've got 5 rounds of golden bullets, so we'll just keep shooting. We'll do 5 rounds, give maybe a couple second pause, and then continue on. Now we're on to the golden bullet. All right, so first up, we got the Velocitors. Now we'll move on to the Coppers. They're not the most accurate out of my gun, but we'll see if we can get them on target. Interesting, despite the velocity, they're not really turning the targets. All right, last but not least, the Federal Punch. See how this goes. All right, so that didn't go too bad, I guess, in all things considered. And as expected, the 1/4-inch plate, especially the bottom ones, I think it's just too heavy for a 22. I mean, I do get movement hitting the tops, but spinning around, not so much. And it doesn't matter what type of ammo. Maybe if I had 22 mag, might make a bit of a difference, you know. quite a bit more oomph to them, but I don't have a 22 mag, so I can't test that out. At any rate, you know, it is functional. It's not ideal, but it is my first attempt at making a spinning target. It did go into the ground quite nicely with the spikes on the end of the posts and the little caps at the top, so I got something to hammer onto. So it's a success in that respect. Like I said, I will continue to use this. There's no reason why I wouldn't. It is functional. It just doesn't spin quite as dramatically as, you know, some of the commercially made products, but that's all right. I think this will last a long time. 1/4 inch plate. It's going to take a long time for any 22s to go through those, if ever at all. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye for now.